Some of the state's top legislative leaders were in Stamford Thursday to discuss their priorities and predictions this session. The Q&A breakfast program, hosted by the Business Council of Fairfield County, featured Senate President Pro Tempore Martin Looney, Speaker of the House Brendan Sharkey, House Minority Leader Themis Klarides, and Senate Minority Leader Fasano. The governor has presented a 2-year, $40 billion budget to the state's legislature, proposing no tax increase. A big topic of discussion Thursday, is it possible?
I think it's realistic, and I think that we owe it to the people of Connecticut to avoid a tax increase as much as possible. And I think we have to do that through efficiency, particularly with regard to the cost of local government that the state subsidizes. That's been something that I've personally been pushing for a long time now.
It is our goal to make sure it's avoidable. We won't know till we get to the end of session and put separate budgets together and sit down and negotiate different parts of it. But I don't believe that the state of Connecticut needs more tax increases. We had the highest tax increase in the state's history 4 years ago, and that was supposed to solve this problem. And now we're facing a $3 billion deficit for the next 2 years.
To do this, state leaders say spending cuts have to be made, and it won't be easy, they say.
$700 million in cuts that are being recommended in the governor's budget. This really has a dramatic impact on programs that have already been cut in recent years, including things like social services, things that even the Republicans agree are problematic. So that's why I think we have to start over from scratch and redo the budget entirely and see what we can do.
So between now and June 3rd, when session ends, it will be our job in the Democrat and the Republican caucus to figure out a way to come to a balanced budget, which is under the cap, but that also makes sure that the most important services, like social services, get the money they need.
With the governor pushing for major improvements in transportation, putting tolls in Connecticut was another hot topic.
I think the tolls has to be part of that equation. I believe that it's not only important for the transportation plan, but it's also what's fair to Connecticut residents who currently pay the highest gas taxes in the country. Yet we do that because we don't have tolls. And we go to other states and we pay their tolls and help subsidize their cost of maintaining their infrastructure, their transportation infrastructure. They drive through our state and pay us nothing.
But not everyone agrees it's beneficial to residents.
Unfortunately, you can say I'm not going to raise taxes, but when you say I'm taking away tax exemptions, when you say I'm putting tolls in, that's all money out of your pocket at the end of the day. So even if you're not increasing taxes, you're increasing the amount of money people are paying, which at the bottom line is the same thing.
Questions surrounding a new bill proposed by the governor to create a transit corridor development authority were also raised. Under the bill, a state board would be appointed with eminent domain powers, having control over land and development within a half-mile of any transit station, with little or no say from local authorities.
I would be very hesitant about suggesting that we should be taking away from localities their ability to control what's going on, particularly around their transportation hubs. That's kind of a dangerous mix. I get the concept that we should have a consistent policy around all of these throughout the state.
That bill is still in the committee process, so it's still, as we like to say, a work in progress. There are lots of moving parts, so we don't know how it will look at the end, but my major concern is not allowing municipalities, first of all, to have a say in the decision making. It's one thing if they can express their concerns, but if their concerns don't matter in the end, then that's a problem.
Reporting in Stamford, I'm Samantha McKelvey for It's Relevant News.